I have 5 home theater trends that secretly annoy me, but you need to stay tuned because wait till you see what number 1 is. Number 5 on my list is home theater seating. I don't know what's going on with home theater seating for me. I have home theater seats in my home theater, but if I could choose what to put my behind on, it would definitely be some sort of couch, some kind of U-shaped couch or something of the sort. The biggest complaint that I have is, of course, I have a home theater, so I want to hang out with friends and family, girlfriend, whoever. But there is a armrest that's in between us and I can't lay down. I can't rest we can't cuddle, man. And it just sometimes is annoying. A lot of times I'll watch movies by myself, so I don't mind sitting up in my chair, but sometimes I want to lay down. Sometimes I want to relax, lay horizontally. You can't do that in a home theater seat. Now, yes, you can get like a home theater sofa so that you can partner up with somebody else, but sometimes a couch is just plain and simply more comfortable. And I also sometimes like the aesthetic of a couch versus a home theater seat because it gives you that cozy vibe. Some people really like to go full in on that home theater feel, and the best way to do that are home theater seats. But sometimes you just want to lay down and relax after a long day instead of sitting upright. And for me, I like a couch for that. Plus, couches have nicer fabric or polyester. A lot of home theater seats are made out of some sort of leather, which is comfortable, but sometimes you just want to lay down and relax. I don't know, it just annoys me. Number 4 on my list are movie posters. Now, hear me out about movie posters. I actually like movie posters. It's cool. Get some of your favorite movies, put them in a huge 24 by 24 frame and hang it up and have that home theater aesthetic. It's really cool. But my complaint about movie posters is that they typically share the same space as an acoustic panel would be. And a lot of people have to decide, do I want to hang my movie posters up or do I want to put acoustic treatment? Because a lot of times they conflict with each other in terms of where you place them. And that's kind of why I don't like movie posters maybe in my own home theater, because I'd rather hang up some acoustic treatment in that same spot. Now, you can get really pretty acoustic treatment that looks like wall art, which I highly recommend, but it costs a lot. I personally, if I'm going to put movie posters in my home theater, I'd rather have it like in the walkway, like maybe down the hall as you're getting towards the movie theater room. That's where I would put my posters. So kind of like an outdoor aesthetic, because there are no movie posters in an actual movie cinema. If you go to your local movie theater right now, there are no movie posters inside the room, but there are tons of them down the hall, by the bathrooms, by the concession. There's tons. And I think that aesthetic in a home looks really cool too. If you have a hallway leading up to your home theater, I love it when they have movie posters or signs that change what movie's watching, now playing, whatever. That's really cool. But when it comes to inside the room, it sometimes annoys me to see a really high-end room with really nice posters, but there's no acoustic treatment because the posters take up that same spot. So sometimes that annoys me. Number 3, the third thing that annoys me are multiple remotes. It is time for everybody who has 2 or more remotes to get a universal remote. And yes, I know the king of all remotes, Logitech, they got rid of their Harmony lines and things like that. So it's hard to find a good remote, but there are remotes out there that do a very good job with today's tech and controlling them all at once. Not to mention Amazon's own, don't want to say her name out loud and piss off a lot of people, but she's really good at controlling your whole home as well. So it's time to get a universal remote or some sort of AI that can control your entire home theater. Hey, turn to HDMI 1. Hey, play this movie on Netflix, whatever, so that you can dish all those remotes to the side and have just one way to command your home theater. Nowadays, if it's even possible to buy a receiver without HDMI CEC, this is what you use to control everything with one remote anyway. Sometimes if you have HDMI CEC turned on your TV and on your soundbar or AV receiver, that remote can control volume to your TV and the receiver and change the channel. So a lot of these manufacturers are putting remotes in that kind of act as universal remotes too. So if you have multiple remotes, I can't tell you how much easier and better it is to just pick up one remote and it controls everything you need right there instead of fumbling through your bag of remotes or your armrest and pulling out multiple remotes to do one control, changing batteries to that and the other. It's just better to have a universal remote. So when I see 4 or 5 remotes lined up across somebody's coffee table, it just annoys me. The number 2 thing on my list that annoys me is streaming services. Now, not the streaming services itself, but the fact that this is how most people consume their media in their home theater. And there's just nothing you can do about it. I watch streaming services all the time in my living room. When I go into my home theater, I'll watch YouTube or something like that, or maybe there's a Netflix show that I wanted to see. But when I sit down and really watch a movie, I always purchase a 4K Blu-ray. I want a kaleidoscope. As expensive as they are, eventually I'll get one. But if I just want the best. I spent a lot of money and time making my room the way that it is. And so when I sit down in it, I don't want to spoil the experience by streaming. Streaming is terrible in comparison to a disc or kaleidoscope. And so when you stream, the sound's limited to like 5.1 surround sound. Sometimes you can do Dolby Atmos with certain services, but you gotta pay an extra charge. Most people watch Netflix in 1080p. They don't even pay for the 4K upgrade because it costs so much per month. And then you have all these streaming services that also cost you money. Yes, you can bundle things like Hulu and Disney Plus, but then you got Netflix and Paramount Plus and HBO Max and this, that, and the other. So you're spending $70, $80 for all these streaming services a month, and a lot of it's 1080p with ads and things like this, and you're not even getting the best service. So there's nothing worse than watching a movie and then an ad pops up in the middle of it. It's like, are we watching a movie or are we watching a TV broadcast? It just kind of annoys me sometimes. So for me, I'm all disc right now, but plan to get a kaleidoscope when money permits. But I understand streaming is just so convenient. It's right there. And then one subscription allows you to all these movies, at least for a few months. So I get it, but it annoys me. The number 1 thing on my list that annoys me are home theater stages. A lot of people who have big rooms, they'll get big screens, maybe make a false wall, but then they'll build a stage around their screen or underneath their screen. And for me, I don't think I'll ever desire to do that. What I do want to do when I get into my next home, when I grow my space and get a bigger home, I do want to build a wall where all my speakers are behind it. I want an acoustic transparent screen. I want to build a false wall. I want my center channel and my speakers to be hidden away, even my subs. I want all of that to be behind my screen, but I don't want a stage in front of it. A lot of people build a stage, but it's funny because a lot of people build a stage but don't use it. So it looks okay, but how many movie theaters do you see with stages, right? So I don't know where that trend really came from. I guess it's cool if you plan to, if you have kids, maybe they want to be on the stage, or you can close the curtains and use it as a proper stage. But I don't know. I've never really seen the appeal for stages. Don't get me wrong. I like the whole false wall appeal where you can raise your screen and there's your equipment, there's your speakers, maybe even a little bit of lighting. But to have a stage in front of it, I've never really understood why people do that. I don't know if it's an aesthetic thing or what it is. Maybe you have a stage. Let me know down below in the comment section, why did you decide to put a stage in your home theater? Or if you haven't and are planning to, what makes you think you want one? Let me kind of know that, because I don't know why people do it necessarily. And I would love to know. Maybe I'm missing something. But with that being said, I have an honorable mention for you. So my honorable mention are starlights. And this is funny because a couple of years ago, I actually decided that I wanted to put starlights in my home theater. And while I thought the idea was cool because I do have starlights in my car, I put starlights in my headliner, I also did that same thing in my home theater. And for a while, it was cool, but it was unnecessary for a couple of reasons. One, because the only time that you can really see the starlights or when they're at their best, it's when it's dark. But it's probably dark because you want to watch a movie. So you don't really want a lot of light coming into your room. Now, for me, I have a projector set up in my room, so I don't see the reflection of the starlights on the projector screen. But for those who have a TV, you may be able to see the lights in the reflection of the TV, depending on how many lights you have or where the TV's positioned or whatever, it may cause a glare in the room, or it may illuminate the room a little bit, and now you can see the lights, and it kind of takes you out of the movie because you can see the room. The point of having a dedicated home theater is to be able to have it light controlled and have no light at all when you're watching a movie. So to have your star lights on, of course you can dim them, but they'll be there. If you're gonna dim them, then why have them on anyway? So it's kind of weird, but I do understand, just like with movie posters and the stage, it's all kind of an aesthetic. So it's really cool to bring somebody in and then turn on a light, or say Amazon A, turn on star lights, and then a whole theater lights up. It's a cool aesthetic. It's a really cool thing to show off. I totally get it, because like I said, I have starlights in my car, and people who come in my car, they're like, oh my God, that is so cool, I love that. It's probably the same thing for home theater, but it may be almost useless if you're always gonna have them off when you're in the room. So, I don't know. Honorable mention, something that annoys me. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Now, I will end this video by saying I have no actual problem with any of these things that I've listed. It's just a few things that annoy me sometimes, but not all the time. But if you have these things in your room, it's your room. Do what you want. My opinion does not matter. But leave me a comment down below and let me know a couple of things that annoys you about home theater. What kind of home theater trends annoy you in 2025? Let me know that down below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and we will see you in the next video. Kid Guy out. Peace.